Words are more than just sounds. They are mirrors reflecting our true selves, the way the world perceives our inner values and character. An ordinary statement can build trust, earn respect, or open doors of opportunity. Conversely, a hasty, thoughtless, or anger-driven remark can destroy trust, erode dignity, and leave lasting consequences. Many believe that speaking more, louder, or faster will draw attention, but the truth is, respect does not come from volume or word count. It comes from how one speaks, the rhythm, the calm, the measured tone of each phrase. Stoics understand that words are a tool of power. If misused, they backfire, causing listeners to doubt or withhold respect. Calmness in speech is a form of silent strength. When speaking clearly, consistently, and confidently, words cease to be mere language. They become a manifestation of dignity. Listeners sense this energy, and respect arises naturally. Conversely, those who speak hastily, tensely, or emotionally, even if logically correct, risk losing authority in the eyes of others. In this video, we will explore how to speak in ways that earn respect not through dominance or argument, but through composure, self-mastery, and wisdom in every word. These principles transform speech into a tool of influence rather than a weapon that harms oneself. The first principle is, don't apologize without reason. There is a seemingly small habit that quietly undermines a person's dignity, the constant act of saying, "I'm sorry," for things that don't warrant it. In everyday conversations and actions, "I'm sorry" becomes a reflex. People apologize for taking half a step too slow, for asking a question, or simply for existing. They believe it is polite, a way to make others comfortable, but in reality it signals to others that they lack value. The truth is, apologizing unnecessarily is a way of telling the world, "I am wrong for existing." Each needless apology erodes a small piece of self-respect. Over time, people teach others that they are easy to underestimate. When sorry becomes the opening line for every situation, it transforms into a plea, no longer an expression of kindness, but of fear. Stoics understand this clearly. They do not apologize for breathing, for stating their perspective, or for daring to exist in their own space. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Stand upright, or at least stand upright in your mind." Words work the same way. To utter an apology without reason is to bow to life when one should face it with composure and dignity. Many apologize to avoid conflict, to smooth over situations, or to prevent dislike. But Stoics know that true respect does not come from pleasing others. It comes from maintaining one's own values. Everyone has the right to make mistakes, to be late, to fumble. What matters is how we rise afterward, not how we diminish ourselves before anyone has a chance to judge. The wise do not apologize for their existence. They understand that simply being in the world is a natural part of life. And if there is one thing worth apologizing for, it is having ever undervalued oneself. The second principle is, set clear boundaries. People often fear displeasing others more than losing themselves. They agree when they don't want to, nod when their heart says no, and smile while their mind is exhausted. They call it being kind, tactful, or considerate. But in reality, it is a trade-off, sacrificing their own peace to feel accepted. No one can respect a person who always says yes when they should say no. The truth is, without boundaries, there is no respect. Like a house without doors anyone can enter, bring chaos, and leave when bored. Those who cannot set limits for others inevitably become victims of their own kindness. Stoics understand this clearly. They do not close themselves off, but they know their thresholds. They know that kindness without discipline will be exploited, and generosity without boundaries is merely disguised weakness. When someone begins to establish boundaries, the world reacts. Some will be angry, some disappointed, some will claim you've changed. But the truth is, those upset by our boundaries are often the ones who benefited when no boundaries existed. They are not upset because we have become worse, but because we are no longer easily manipulated. Stoics understand that initial resistance is a natural part of reclaiming respect, and they remain steadfast even when misunderstood, knowing that inner peace comes only when one no longer needs permission to be oneself. Setting boundaries does not mean being selfish. It is the highest act of self-respect. Only those who protect their energy can give meaningfully. A depleted soul cannot love sincerely, just as a trampled heart cannot offer kindness without resentment. Boundaries are the fences that safeguard what is most valuable within us: our time, our mind, and our dignity. Next is the power of pausing. There is a subtle strength in communication that few recognize: the pause. In an era where everyone rushes to speak, to prove themselves, to be noticed, the person who knows how to pause within a conversation is the one who makes the world truly listen. For in silence, there is presence. In the pause, there is power. Most people fear silence. They fear the gap between two words as if it signals weakness. They hurriedly fill it with explanations, unnecessary details, or forced laughter. But in that fear, respect gradually disappears. Those who speak too fast or too much inadvertently strip their words of weight. Stoics understand that every word carries value, and that value is only realized when there is space for it to resonate. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Be silent more than you speak, and when you speak, speak what is necessary." This advice is not merely about words, but a philosophy of life. In conversation, knowing when to pause sends a powerful message. I do not need to rush for recognition. The pause conveys control, confidence, and awareness. It declares, I am not driven by emotion, I am master of myself. The pause is also a test of composure. When criticized, misunderstood, or emotionally provoked, our instinct is to react. Yet such reactions rarely yield good results. The wise choose to pause not because they have nothing to say, but because they know speaking in a turbulent state turns words into weapons against themselves. Silence under attack is not weakness. It is the refusal to grant others control over one's emotions. True power lies not in making others hear, but in making them reflect after you have spoken. And that can only happen when we allow the pause to extend the message. The pause is the period of self-mastery, the breath of composure, the proof that one speaks not to win, but to share. The fourth principle is using humor wisely. Amid serious people and heavy conversations, humor is a rare light that makes others approachable, comfortable, and open. Yet used incorrectly, it can undermine one's authority in the listener's eyes. Humor is a double-edged sword. On one side, intelligence; on the other, frivolity. The line between the two is thinner than we think. The wise do not fear laughter, but they understand that not all laughter is valuable. Some use humor to ease tension, reconnect, or lighten serious moments. That is art. Others wield it as a shield, hiding fear of judgment, or as a tool to gain attention. They joke about themselves excessively, self-deprecate to amuse others, not realizing each jest gradually erodes their image. A joke can break the ice, but it can also erode respect, especially when laughter comes at the expense of oneself. Some believe self-deprecation shows humility, but it quickly makes others stop respecting them. A person who continually turns themselves into a joke will soon be valued only for the amusement they provide. And when that laughter ends, nothing remains but emptiness. What distinguishes the witty from the foolish is intention. One uses humor to connect, the other uses it to seek approval. One shares joy, the other hides insecurity. The same laughter, but one signals confidence, the other a plea. Laughter is like light. Used properly, it illuminates the room. Used poorly, it blinds. The wise know when to turn on the light and when to let natural light do its work. Humor is similar, just a little, enough, and at the right moment. Because fleeting laughter may make people like you, but respect is what makes them stay. Next is stop gossiping. In everyday conversations, people are often drawn into stories that do not belong to them. A small rumor, a fragment of information, a tale just to know, all may seem harmless, yet they carry a destructive power greater than any weapon. Once spoken, words no longer belong to the speaker. They become a wind carrying someone else's image, reputation, and pain across the world. And the scariest part is that the speaker often does not realize what they are spreading. Gossip ultimately is a way for people to diminish themselves. It brings a fleeting thrill, like a spark ignited when a secret is revealed, but all that remains is the ash of trust. People think talking about others connects them, makes them in the loop. But in truth, each time they engage in such conversation, they reveal that they are not interesting enough on their own, without someone else's story to share. Stoics see words as tools for building, not destroying. They speak sparingly, but each word has a clear purpose. They avoid petty conversations because they know silence can sometimes be the highest form of honesty. Not speaking about someone in their absence is not only courtesy, but a demonstration of inner strength, the strength of someone who does not need to pull others down to stand tall. Gossip may provide brief excitement, but losing credibility is the price that lasts forever. A person's reputation does not come from what they say about others, but from how they remain silent when they have the chance to speak. By refusing to participate in trivial talk, we protect not only the absent, but ourselves, safeguarding our integrity, composure, and personal honor. The sixth principle is knowing when to stop speaking. People often think that talking more shows knowledge. They fear silence, worry about being seen as uninteresting or unintelligent. So they fill every gap with words, explanations, and repetitions, and end up diluting their own message in a chaotic flood of sound. Yet those most respected are the ones who speak less, because they understand that power lies not in the quantity of words, but in the ability to know when to stop. There is a simple rule of few practice. The longer you speak, the lighter your words become. When you talk too much, each word loses weight. Listeners forget the core message, remembering only the sensation of being overwhelmed by language. Like pouring water into an already full glass, everything spills over. One well-timed, concise statement can provoke thought. 10 more will make them forget the essence. Knowing when to stop is a manifestation of self-mastery. In a debate, the strong person is not the one who speaks last, but the one wise enough to recognize when to remain silent. Sometimes words cannot change another's mind, and adding more only diminishes oneself. The wise do not argue to win. They remain silent to preserve themselves. For victory is not in forcing agreement, but in not allowing emotions to control one's words. Silence can spark curiosity, provoke reflection, and even encourage self-examination. When we speak less, each word gains value. Every statement becomes a carefully placed stone, solid, steady, and deliberate. And the listener, even if they disagree, must acknowledge that there is something worthy of respect in such restraint. Knowing when to stop speaking is knowing how to respect oneself, respect the listener, and respect the truth. Each well-timed pause makes the words more complete, clearer, and memorable. In a noisy world, the person who speaks less yet is truly heard, has mastered the highest art of communication, the art of knowing when to stop. Next is intentional silence. Silence is not merely the gap between words, it is a form of mastery. In a world where everyone strives to be heard, those who choose silence do not do so because they have nothing to say, but because they understand that not everything deserves to be spoken. There are moments when a glance, a breath, or a pause can carry more power than 1,000 justifications. The wise do not use silence to avoid, but to observe. They understand that when the mind is swayed by emotion, any spoken word can become a misfired arrow. Silence is a shield that allows them to stand firm amidst chaos, not out of fear, but out of self-respect sufficient to avoid reacting recklessly. Stoics view silence as discipline of the mind, the ability to control one's response before the response controls them. Seneca once said, "Nothing reveals a person's strength more than their silence when they could respond." This perfectly captures the essence of deliberate quiet. Silence, when chosen, is not weakness, but a manifestation of strength. Anyone can speak when hurt, but only the truly strong can remain silent so as not to inflict further harm. In relationships, intentional silence is also a form of respect. Speaking does not always foster understanding. Sometimes it only provokes defense. A person with depth knows when to listen rather than respond, when to let others have space to reflect on themselves. Silence in the face of another's mistake is not agreement, but the choice to trust that truth does not need to shout. Another effective approach is speak less, speak precisely. Words are a double-edged sword. They can save a person, yet they can also wound a life. People often think that speaking more demonstrates intelligence, but in truth, speaking correctly is the true sign of wisdom. A superfluous word is a misfired arrow, and a mistaken word is a knife that can wound the hand that wields it. While most people use words to fill silence, The wise use silence to refine each word. Speaking less is not a sign of not knowing what to say, but a recognition that not everything one knows needs to be spoken. Those who speak little are not lacking words. They simply choose the words worth being heard. They speak slowly, but each word carries weight. While those who talk excessively wear others out, the precise speaker makes others think. The difference lies in purpose. One speaks to be heard, the other speaks to be understood. Speaking less and speaking precisely is also the art of conserving energy. Those who speak carelessly expend their vitality on meaningless things, while the selective speaker accumulates strength for moments that truly matter. They understand that words once too freely given lose their value. But when carefully preserved and chosen, each statement becomes a tool to guide, influence, and inspire. This is also a sign of a mature soul. When a person no longer feels the need to prove anything, they speak only what needs to be said and only once. Words are no longer a means of self-expression, but a tool for illumination. And when speech becomes as precise and striking as lightning, the listener not only hears but falls silent. For the truth, spoken at the right time and in the right way, requires no repetition. Speaking with honesty is essential for earning the respect of others. Some words may sound polished and skillful, yet lack truth. Even when delivered with a smile, they leave a cold void between people. Words are not only heard by the ears, but also felt by the heart. One may lie with words, but the energy of falseness cannot be hidden. Honesty, therefore, is not merely a matter of ethics, it is a form of strength. In communication, honesty is not just about speaking the truth, but speaking with good intent. A harsh truth can cut like a knife, yet a truth spoken with kindness becomes a light that illuminates the issue. The Stoic understands that being honest is not about proving oneself right, but about seeking clarity. They do not wield truth as a weapon, but as a mirror not to judge, but to help others see more clearly. Honesty begins from within. You cannot speak the truth to others while deceiving yourself. Some people may never lie to anyone their entire lives, yet they live in self-deception, pretending to be happy, pretending to be strong, pretending to be fine while their mind is fractured. The wise choose to confront themselves. They accept the truth about who they are even when it is painful or shameful, for only by having the courage to face the darkness within can a person speak words that bring light. Speaking honestly does not mean saying everything. It means not speaking falsehoods. Some things are best kept in silence, others are best expressed through actions. But whenever words are spoken, they must reflect a genuine soul. Even a small untruth leaves a crack in the wall of trust, and once trust is fractured, it can never fully be restored. A Stoic regards honesty as the foundation of dignity. When words and actions align, a person becomes trustworthy. And once trustworthiness is established, there is no need to strive for respect. It comes naturally, like light finding its way to a place of purity. Finally, humility brings respect. In an era where everyone seeks to prove themselves, display superiority, or gain recognition, humility is rare and most precious. Not because it makes one weak, but because it allows one to see their limits clearly. The humble do not need to belittle themselves. They simply know how to stand rightly in the vast world. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone can point out I am wrong, I will gladly change, for I seek truth, not to protect my ego." This epitomizes the Stoic spirit. Humility is not false submission, but the courage to face truth, even if it hurts. Only the truly strong can admit mistakes, for the weak always need the illusion of perfection to survive. Humility begins with awareness. No matter how intelligent, humans are but dust in the universe. All that is known is a tiny fraction of what is unknown. Paradoxically, the less we know, the more we feel compelled to demonstrate knowledge. We argue not to learn, but to win. We speak not to understand, but to hear our own voice. In this meaningless race, respect is replaced by arrogance, and true wisdom suffocated by a bloated ego. The wise understand that truth needs no protection through noise. It only requires an open heart to receive. Humility is the ability to keep learning, knowing that everyone around has something worth learning, whether younger, less educated, or entirely different. The humble are not threatened by others' knowledge, for another's light does not dim their own. The humble need not prove anything. They do not need applause to feel worthy, nor victory to feel successful. They only need to live rightly, speak truthfully, and act consistently with their beliefs. Then respect arrives not because it is demanded, but because others naturally recognize that arrogance has no place before them. Everything we say carries energy. Words can soothe or wound, connect or divide, elevate or diminish a person. But the importance lies not in the quantity of words spoken, but in the quality of the mind behind them. The way we speak reflects our character, and the respect of others comes not from language itself, but from the presence and essence embedded in every word. The wise do not speak to impress, but to add value. They do not speak for the sake of speaking, but to speak rightly. They understand that timely silence is often more powerful than 1,000 explanations. While most of the world speaks to fill the fear of being forgotten, they choose to speak little, nurturing the inner peace within. It is this restraint that gives their words weight, for they are not uttered carelessly, but arise from disciplined thought in a trained, cultivated mind. True power is not in making others comply, but in guiding them to listen willingly. This is the power of presence. One who speaks with a calm mind, steady gaze, and measured tone can quiet an entire room. Their energy does not need to be amplified to be noticed. It radiates naturally through quiet confidence. Respect in that moment is not demanded, it is given freely. Respect does not come from what others think, but from how we live and speak. When words are chosen carefully, silence is employed wisely, and humility forms the foundation of all communication. One does not need to seek respect, for it will find its way to them. If these principles today resonate with you, click like to share this value with those seeking to speak with calm, sharpness, and respect. Don't forget to subscribe to continue the journey of mastering your words, mastering your mind, and living with your own dignity.